Am I the asshole for refusing to pay for our firends' now broken iPhone and sunglasses that our son broke? I am 28F, and my husband is 32M. Our son in question is 6 months old. Whenever someone holds them, we warn them that they'll try to grab your glasses or phone, and sometimes even your hair. We are trying to break this habit, but he is 6 months old. Now, I warned my husband that a friend of mine, 33F, let's call her Jean, came to visit and wants to hold, which we didn't mind at all. I warned her about it all, saying, "Oh, best taking your sunglasses off your head, he'll grab them." Now these are Gucci sunglasses costing almost £800, which to me is a crazy amount for sunglasses, but each to their own. She rolled her eyes at me and accused me of hogging my own baby woman, shrugging. I warned her again, she said, "It's fine." So she stood holding him, took her phone out wanting to take a selfie, which again I am fine with as long as it's not posted. Don't want a pic of him online as of yet. He, of course, grabbed her sunglasses, got excited as he got them, waved his hands about the sunglasses, and they flew. She screamed, scaring him. He panicked and flailed, hitting her iPhone to the floor. I quickly took him as she was freaking out. She says I need to buy her a new iPhone 16 and replace her sunglasses, or give her the money for them, which is £2,300. I said, "We can't pay that as that's not even my monthly wage. Plus, I am on maternity, but also I don't feel like I should, as you ignored my warnings." I'm called heartless for not being more understanding of her upset. I was more concerned with calming down my son. My husband just shrugged, telling her I did warn her. I fixed the issues since they were so triggering to people. Also, to those who thought an adult didn't write this, adults can have dyslexia. Dyslexia. So am I the asshole? If your child were 6 years old, I could see an argument for not having taught your child proper behavior. However, in this situation, the kid is only 6 months old. You provided adequate warning, so not the asshole. You owe her nothing. When I read the top, I thought surely you're responsible. But not the asshole you warned her, specifically about the glasses. She overrode your suggestion. A 6-month-old is still a bundle of nerves learning how everything works. Also, £800 for non-prescription glasses is indeed stupid. Not the asshole. Your financial situation is not relevant. If it was your responsibility, it would remain so. You would be asking for kindness for the debt to be forgiven/reduced. But you are not responsible. You duly warned her. She took responsibility when she rolled her eyes, dismissed your warning, and said, "It's fine." End of story. End of discussion with her. I'm guessing she wanted a selfie of the baby and her with her fine Gucci glasses. That mattered more to her than safeguarding her stuff. She could have also asked you to take a picture of her and the baby. Not the asshole. You. Don't touch that, it's hot. Her, while staring you in the eye, touches it. Ow! Why didn't you tell me? All her problems are of her own making. With that attitude, I'm just glad she didn't drop the baby to save the sunglasses. Not the asshole. She fucked around, she found out. Such is the order of things. Would I be the asshole if I threatened to turn of my life 360? I, 19F, am in my first week of college. I've had life 360 with my parents since I was about 16 for general safety reasons. However, they're a bit overbearing and controlling about where I go, even after I turned 18. I found myself being extremely stressed about doing very normal things and being worried about them getting upset. Before I left for college, my mom asked me to leave my life 360 on, joking about how she wants to know what ditch to get me out of if something goes wrong, which I completely understand, but my parents have been obsessively checking my location since I've gotten here. They've mentioned in passing places I went, literally like stores to buy stuff for school, when I didn't tell them I was going. They've been pressuring me to go to church and checking my location frequently to make sure I am. I don't want to, but I like to keep the peace. It's a bit uncomfortable. I'm wondering if I'd be an asshole if I told them that if they don't stop stalking me, I'm going to turn off my life 360. I understand their reasoning behind wanting me to have it, but it's uncomfortable knowing that wherever I am, they're probably looking constantly. I'd appreciate any input you'll have. Not the asshole. Gods, I remember the days when the answer to "Where is your kid?" was hell if I know, she's due back at dinner. I cannot imagine living under the crushing surveillance of life 360. No, and honestly it would be better for your long-term relationship. But do be careful, those first couple years of freedom after having overbearing parents can be dangerous. Not the asshole. Not the asshole, but if they're paying your way right now, it could jeopardize that support. Have you talked to them about how uncomfortable this makes you? Is your dad just as bad as your mom? YWNBTA. Look, I'm a parent. I have a 24-year-old that went to college at 17. All I'm going to say is at some point you will need to assert your independence. They do not need to know what you are doing at every given time of the day. I would set the boundary with them, and if they are uncomfortable with it, then that's on them. My daughter only shares her location when she goes on dates and or long trips, so if something does happen. But as for everyday, nope. But I also don't check every 5 minutes. Not the asshole. Are they supporting you financially? It could be beneficial to get a dirt cheap second phone or a digital SIM card and just leave the app on and take your other phone places. If you depend on them for FAFSA or other financial support, it may be worth not pissing them off. Their actions are definitely creepy and controlling. Info. Are you financially dependent on them? I ask because my advice will be given based on their ability to threaten you with financial consequences for turning it off. Edited to add judgment. YWNBTA, but step carefully. AITA for refusing to fix my sister and BIL's microwave. Too long, did not read. While visiting my sister, I Googled the steps on how to mute their microwave beeping and won't change it back. As far as I know, my sister has a happy marriage with her husband, Roger. I think he's generally a good guy and a great father, but he does this thing where he puts something in the microwave and will not come to get it when it's ready, so it just beeps and beeps until someone brings it to him. It's so loud, and due to their open floor plan/acoustics, you can hear it no matter where you are in the house. If I'm over, I'll just press the end button or open the door to make it stop, but each and every time, Roger will turn it on again until anyone, brings whatever it is to him. He knows the noise of the beeping drives everyone bonkers, and he just keeps doing it to get waited on. He actually thinks it's funny that the whole house gets mad at him about it. Last week I finally had enough and got it to stop making any noise whatsoever, and he got pretty pissed once he figured out no noise equals no waitress service. My sister tried being faux mad at me for his sake at first, but ended up asking me not to change it back after a few days of blessed microwave silence. Roger says I'm interfering in their marriage and tampering with his property. Even though it's causing friction between them, my sister doesn't want me to change it back, and when he threatened to get a new microwave, she told him she'd do the same thing to it. I told him that Google is his friend too, and he can change it back himself if he wants. He's insisting I change it back, but I'm not budging. AITA here. Not the asshole. I don't care about the rest of the story. People who stop appliances from beeping deserve a laurel and hearty handshake. If I'm over, I'll just press the end button or open the door to make it stop, but each and every time, Roger will turn it on again until anyone, brings whatever it is to him. Roger gets out of his chair, goes over to the microwave, doesn't take out what has been heated, but closes the door so it beeps again. I think someone should close Roger, so he stops playing these stupid power games. Suggestion. Take the item out of the microwave and stick it on the bench. If he doesn't get it in a reasonable time frame, dump it. Not the asshole. Ask your sister if he does other things like this, and if things are okay for her. UR Bill is an entitled ass, but you need to check in on UR sister. Does he frequently treat her like a live-in maid and try to isolate her from family? Roger says I'm interfering in their marriage and tampering with his property. Not the asshole. Tell him that that's no way to refer to his wife. I assume he's hot, because why else would she hang around with him? He sounds like an obnoxious asshole. If I'm over, I'll just press the end button or open the door to make it stop, but each and every time, Roger will turn it on again until anyone, brings whatever it is to him. So you stop the beeping, and Thaddeus gets up from wherever he is, and, instead of just getting whatever it was that he put in the microwave, he just turns on the beeping and leaves again so that someone will deliver his food/drink to him. Huge, not the asshole. Because that's sasshole behavior if I've ever heard it. Especially since your sister clearly doesn't want the noise returned. If it's an issue in his marriage, then it's an issue with his behavior, and you've just given the rest of his household a break from him ringing the servant's bell. Am I the asshole for refusing to sign over my half of a property until I get legal security? I co-own a property with a sibling. They've spent years paying off debts so they could have full ownership, and now they want me to sign over my half immediately. The plan was that I would inherit another property from a parent in exchange, but the parent hasn't legally transferred it or notarized a will guaranteeing it to me. My sibling says I'm holding things up, accusing me of being greedy and threatening that I'll ruin their bank deal. My parent says I don't deserve the property, that I should be grateful for anything I get, and implies I have no right to it. I'm feeling manipulated and pressured from all sides. I'm willing to give up my share, but only once there's a legal agreement ensuring I'll receive the promised property. Until then, I want my rights protected, so I'm not left with nothing, and my sibling can't build or sell on my portion without compensating me. I just want fairness and security, not more than anyone else. Am I the asshole for standing my ground in the face of emotional pressure and threats? Edit for clarity/context. Some people asked for more details because my original post was vague. Here's the full situation while still keeping some anonymity for me and my family. The property was originally gifted to me and my sibling, but it came with a big debt attached. It couldn't even be used until that debt was cleared. Over the years, my sibling managed to reduce the debt and eventually paid off the rest themselves, around €5,000. Their expectation has always been that once the debt was gone, they'd get full ownership. I only found out recently that I still had legal say in the property. Up until then, I thought I'd already lost my rights because of a verbal deal made years ago. Back then, I was still a minor, and the agreement was, sibling gets the full property, and I get our parents' house after they pass. I agreed on the condition that it was put into a will naming me as the sole inheritor. That will was never finalized, despite me asking for years. I'm now in my 20s and studying abroad in another country, so I haven't been involved with this property at all. I don't even know the exact details, only what I was told. All I know is that I was promised one thing in return for giving up another, and now that promise is shaky. When I was told last week that I had to sign over my share, I agreed only if parent officially notarized their will naming me sole inheritor of their house. That suggestion was rejected, and instead, new conditions came up. I would inherit the house, but I'd be responsible for all funeral expenses, which I agreed to. I would not be allowed to turn away any family members who needed housing, which I do not agree to, because it means I'd carry all obligations, but have no real control. I proposed a contract as a compromise. Sibling keeps moving forward with their half, and can even start building, while I hold my half until I actually inherit the house. To make sure sibling is protected, I suggested adding that I can't sell my half, or do anything with it until then. If I don't inherit the house, sibling would buy me out at fair market value. That way neither of us gets screwed. Sibling and parent see this as greedy and manipulative. They say I should just trust their word, wait possibly 30+ years, and sign away my only legal security right now so sibling can enjoy the property immediately. That's why I'm struggling. I'm not asking for more than anyone else. I'm just asking for legal security before I give up mine. Not the asshole. Trust me, bro, isn't a legal document. Get it in writing first. Nobody will screw you over faster than family. Not the asshole. A will and no guarantee of anything. They can write a new will the next day invalidating this one and cutting you out completely. You need to be on the deed of the property itself now, or it needs to go in an irrevocable trust. Better yet, you should speak with a lawyer to figure out the best way to structure this correctly. Not the asshole. Consult a lawyer ASAP. From what you're saying, I'd be thinking they actually need to buy out your half of the property, because that is the only guarantee you'll get anything. Not the asshole. Your sibling has two choices to buy you out or wait until you have secured the other property. Don't sign anything and get a lawyer. Good luck.